that was nice. You get me today. The music team has the week off, well-deserved after last week, yes? Even though some of them were here very early anyway. Go team, go. So if you can hear the sound of my voice, that means that we're gathering and we're starting the service. So please rise if you're able to. And let's get the party started, eh? Want to hear ya. Love is my decision. It's up to me to give of my heart. Love is my decision. No one else can tell me to start. And once I decide to change my mind, God will show me how. Love is my decision, right here and now. Love is my decision. It's up to me to stand on that bridge. Love is my decision. No one else can make me forgive. And once I decide to change my mind, God will show me how. Love is my decision, right here and now. Love is my decision. It's up to me to dance down that road. Love is my decision. No one else can lighten my load. And once I decide to change my mind, God will show me how. Love is my decision, right here and now. My decision.
Good morning. So nice to welcome you to our service here at Unity of Fox Valley. I welcome all of you seated before me or standing before me right now, as the case may be, and also to those of you who are tuned in on our YouTube channel. So glad to have you with us. Take a moment to silence your cell phones. As we go into the next song, you may want to stay standing.
Here we go. Use me, oh God, I stand for you, and here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. I used to think God was the sun, God is the sun, but God's so much more than the earth and the stars, or all of creation. God is creator, make all in all, needing us to shine its light as me, as you, so use
Please take a seat. And I invite you now to join me by praying the prayer that's going to be on the screen. There it is. And also in your bulletin, a prayer by Reverend Cherie Taylor Jones. As we gather together in new and creative ways this holiday season, we come into awakening to our humanity. We come into the realization of oneness. We come into gratitude for the spectrum of diversity. We come into loving each person as we feel the energetic strands of connection. Today we create new traditions of thanksgiving and celebrations. And now I would like to invite Bobby to please come forth to do our daily word reading. Sorry.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I don't know about you, but I think the universe has been sending us messages, and all we have to do is stay open. If you haven't been reading the Daily Word this past week, you need to get one and start reading it, because most of them this past week have been really on target with what we need to hear. And today's is no exception. Freedom. The Christ within is my source of freedom. Freedom is my spiritual birthright. I live my freedom when I speak my mind, pursue my dreams, and live with dignity and self-respect. It means I am self-directed, and I use my spiritual gifts of understanding, faith, love, and strength to guide my decisions and actions. As I do, I feel free. I do what I can to support freedom for myself and others. I honor and give thanks for all those whose courage and dedication in service have helped build and sustain a world where all people can know true freedom. In prayer, I envision a harmonious human community that assures everyone's basic needs are met, respects different viewpoints, and celebrates the unique expression of God that each person is. And from 1 Peter 2:16, as servants of God, live as free people, yet do not use your freedom as a pretext for evil. Let that one sink in. I will be here at, excuse me, I will be here after the service as your prayer chaplain, so you can find me down front, and if you prefer to go someplace more quiet, we'll find that area as well. So please join me if you need prayers of support, prayers of celebration, and just join me for whatever reason you may have. Thank you.
Thank you, Bobby. I now invite you, if you are willing and able, to return to your feet as we join in singing and praying the Lord's Prayer. because it's time for us now to bless our children. I would like to invite our children and their sponsors to please come forward. Love those smiles. Join with me. We love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the Christ in you, and know that you are empowered to do great things.
Remember this one from last year? You'll remember it. Every day is time to give. Every day is time to live. Every day is time to say that this is my Thanksgiving day. If I hear you talk to me, if I see what you can be, if I love you on your way, this is my Thanksgiving day. This is my Thanksgiving day. This is my Thanksgiving day. You've heard that term, preaching to the choir, right? I kind of feel like I'm doing that today with this song with all of you. So many things we can't control, so many hurts that happen every day, so many heartaches that pierce the soul, so much pain that won't ever go away. How do we make it better? How do we make it through? What can we do when there's nothing we can do? We can be kind. We can take care of each other. We can remember that deep down inside, we all need the same thing. And maybe we'll find, if we are there for each other, that together we'll weather whatever tomorrow may bring. Nobody really wants to fight. Nobody really wants to go to war. Everyone wants to make things right. So what are we always fighting for? Does nobody want to see it? Does nobody understand? The power to heal is right here in our hands. We can be kind. We can take care of each other. We can remember that deep down inside, we all need the same thing. And maybe we'll find, if we are there for each other, that together we'll weather whatever tomorrow may bring. And it's not enough to talk about talk about it. You and I, do or die. We've got to try to get along. We can be kind. We can take care of each other. We can remember that deep down inside we all need the same thing. And maybe we'll find, if we are there for each other, that together we'll weather whatever tomorrow may bring. And maybe we'll find true peace of mind if we always remember we can be
Thank you, Kitty. I hope the rest of the music team is enjoying their Sunday off. And I want to tell you, though, you could still feel free to participate. I don't have to preach alone. An occasional amen would be helpful. I'll be right back. I have to get something. I hope you will excuse this crude visual effect. This is not intended to be a cross. It's intended to be a yoke. And I don't have the carpentry skills to fashion one the way it's, designed back there. But I intended to symbolize that the yoke is on us and that we have work to do. So if we want to rid ourselves, I don't know if you could see the words that are written here. Are they on the screen, Suze?
Yep.
Of things like pain, loss, darkness, and shame. We have work to do. And I'm not going to hold this thing up for the duration of the talk. I do want to start with a story today. And this is a story about a man who once, late at night, was crawling in the gutter on his hands and knees with his nose close to the ground. He was obviously looking for something as he was scouring every square inch that he came across. And a stranger happened by and said, "Oh my gosh, are you okay? What are you doing?" And the guy on the ground said, "I'm looking for something. My wife lost her ring, her diamond ring, and it's worth over $25,000, so I'm looking for it." And the stranger said, "Wow, that's incredible. Are you sure this is where she lost it?" And the guy on the ground said, "Well, no, actually, she lost it across the street. But there's no street light on that side, and it's really dark, so I'm looking over here where I have a street light above me." That wasn't intended to be funny, actually, but it's a made-up story that I think that is so on topic today. It's really kind of fascinating. When we were doing calendar planning, I actually picked this topic several weeks ago thinking that it would fit the Sunday after our elections. And now having lived through the elections, and now having heard and witnessed the reactions of so many people in response to the elections, I think it really was a really proper choice. I'm pretty much convinced that maybe not all of you, but the vast majority of you aren't all that enthused about what happened this past Tuesday. Amen. Thank you, but it's not as good as an amen. Okay. But I want to make something clear. I'm going to be touching on the election, but the main purpose of the message today really is not about the election. The main purpose of the talk today is to try to send home the idea that we have work to do, that the yoke is on us. And I would be preaching the same talk today if the other candidate had been successful. Because we really tend to lose sight of this. And so I want to start with kind of an outrageous statement. Actually, I don't think it's outrageous, but I think you're going to think it's outrageous. The outcome, the results of the election this past Tuesday really do not mean a damn thing. Amen. Thank you. And I say that on two fronts. The first is, if you just keep in mind who you are and what you are, there is absolutely nobody or nothing that can deprive you of or take away from your freedom. Nobody can take any kind of actions, as absurd or outlandish and ostensibly painful as they might be, and take away your dignity. It's impossible. You could only give it away. And the second thing, coming back to the theme for the talk today, is that we absolutely have work to do. Years ago, a very, very close friend of mine was in the throes of a real deep despair and depression. And a mutual friend of ours, somebody who had been trained and licensed as a counselor, went to spend some time with her, to visit with her. And when he came back, I just said, I didn't pry in terms of what was discussed. I just said, I asked, is she going to be all right? And his answer was, yes, if she wants to be. Don't get me wrong. I really am not happy about what happened on Tuesday, okay? I think it was a punch in the teeth and a kick in the gut and every painful expression, that trite expression that you may want to conjure up for the occasion. I think that it fits. And so it's really okay for us to grieve. It's really okay for us to mourn. Just do not dwell there. Because if you dwell there, you are determining your destiny in a way that you really don't want to determine. So at some point, like if getting a really horrible medical diagnosis, deal with it. Because those are your two choices: to live in the darkness or to do something which allows you to express your own inner light. And so not only for those of us who might not be happy about the election, but if by chance you're hearing this and you're saying, hey, I'm all right, I'm celebrating because I like the way things turned out, this applies to you as well, because you will find that whatever brought you to any point of your own consciousness at this point, it's not going to be fixed, notwithstanding the ads that were run, that you are going to have to do absolutely nothing more in your life because everything's going to be perfect. Okay? Those inner pains, those inner doubts, all of that is going to remain unless you get involved in the work. So a quick plug on something. If you are in fact grieving over Tuesday's results, please give some serious thought and consideration to signing up for Maria's grief class, which starts this week. Because it's not just about losing a lost one, it's about losing a part of yourself. And so give that some real serious consideration. But you cannot allow your mood to become your master. Oh, come on, that was worth an amen. Your emotions do not own you. You own your emotions. So don't say words such as, boy, that election really discouraged me, or that election really disappointed me. Those are words of a feeling of being a victim. And so I encourage you to say things like, I am upset. I am discouraged. I am disappointed. Because coming from you being the subject instead of the object conveys a sense of understanding on your part that you have a choice. And if you are in a moment choosing to be disappointed, that's okay, because if you put it in that kind of a context, in that kind of a psychology, frankly, then you also understand that you have a choice that you can make about something other. And you could move to things like, I am light, I am love, I am the essence of the Christ. And it really, really makes a difference. Oh, I don't believe I wrote this. Wow. Regardless of the horse that you rode on Tuesday, whether it was the winning horse or the losing horse, you have work to do. And this is really key to understanding, in my opinion. The election was not decided by the candidates. The election was not decided by any one issue or any groups of issues. The election on Tuesday was decided by consciousness. You know, we go through life and we attend to this, and we get in our cars, we drive places where we have to go get stuff, and we don't think that what we're thinking makes a difference. So sometimes we just fall into that trap of compartmentalizing who we are and what we think and what we feel and what we hold as our truth. Because we can become robots and go through the motions, and then it's so easy for complacency and for apathy to just seep in. Carl Jung once wrote, I want to make sure I get this right, what we don't bring to consciousness comes to us as fate. What we don't bring to consciousness comes to us as fate. Those words of wisdom were validated by the results on Tuesday. Those words of wisdom will continue to be validated in every election that ever comes up. Those words of wisdom, in my opinion, are going to be validated over what plays out over the next 4 years. So, am I concerned? Well, yeah, absolutely. Do I think things are going to unfold that are going to deprive me of my happiness, of my joy? No. That is, not unless I don't do my job. Because happiness is not a function of an event. It's not a promotion. It's not a raise. It's not finding a new love partner in this life. It's not about money. It's not about any of those things. Happiness is a choice. But in order for you to understand that it's a choice, in order for you to put that choice into effect, you have to get away from the notion that somebody other than you is in control of your mind. And it's nobody else's responsibility to bring you happiness or joy. It's on you. You have to do that work. And so it's not your mother's responsibility to bring you happiness. It's not your children's responsibility to bring you happiness. It's not the minister's responsibility, making that clear, to bring you happiness. It's not the responsibility of the President of the United States to bring you happiness. And listen up to this next thing. It's not God's responsibility to bring you happiness. And I say that because I believe, I am convinced that everything that you need came in the packaging that brought you into this world. But it's up to you to unpack things, to maybe read the directions, like we men don't like to do, in order to do the work, in order to make this happen in a very, very real way in your life. Last Tuesday really doesn't matter. Where you go, what you do with it, makes it matter. Do not buy into somebody else's frame of mind. You know, I do this all the time. I know, and it's okay. It's actually a good thing. If I think that Susan is really upset or disturbed about it, about something, her frame of mind comes to me, and it's well, with all due respect, Susan, it's a real pain. But in a given moment or two, or a given hour or two, it's okay. But even that is, as much as I love her, and I truly do, I cannot let that determine my destiny over the long haul. And those things, by the way, they're not necessarily negative things. Those discoveries about somebody else's frame of mind, which is not all that pleasant, like the body that elected President Trump, they can really be stepping stones. They could really be opportunities for us. They can really drive home that, good gosh, this is just not so good. And put some popcorn on, I'm going to watch TV. Yeah, that'll fix it. But I guarantee you that a good majority of the country who is not happy with the results of this past Tuesday, that is where they are. And so there's a real issue that we should be seeing this morning in terms of asking our question, as we asked ourselves at the Myrtle discussion on Thursday, what is now mine to do? And again, even if you're happy with the results, you should be asking yourself that question. Because you're here to do something. You are here for a purpose. And by the way, you do not rely upon somebody else's frame of mind. All of those things that I defined before, like money and promotions and relationships and winning the lottery and all of that, the things, those cannot determine your happiness, but they are also powerless to deprive you or take your joy or happiness away from you. And so, I don't care what happened way back when somebody really hurt you, when somebody deserted you, when somebody left you alone and feeling alienated, when somebody excluded you, when somebody told you you were worthless. Deal with it. I'm not trying to say pretend it didn't happen. But the whole thing about stumbling and falling is, boy, does it feel good when you get back up. Those things are real. Don't go to a place of pretending in some naive fashion because you're just going to bury something away that not as only as painful, it's an opportunity. It's an opportunity for growth and for arriving at something higher and greater. I want to share with you, and this is long, so I got to read it, some words of wisdom from the author Richard Rohr. Wrong page. Mary sent me this. I'm really grateful for it because, boy, is it on topic. What I'm preaching today is not very practical. Seriously, and as you go through life and get up in the morning, have breakfast, and do this and that, it's really not very practical. It really is very effective just to put things on, automatic, okay? But this is what Richard Rohr in his book, Falling Upward. I love that. There is no practical or compelling reason to leave one's present comfort zone in life. Why should you or would you? Frankly, none of us do unless and until we have to. This might be a time when we have to. And so he goes on and he says, so we must stumble and fall. I'm sorry to say, you must be out of the driver's seat for a while, or will never learn how to give up control to the real guide. It is a necessary pattern. What's going on right now in our lives, in this community, in this country, is not all that extraordinary. And one last quote from him. It seems that in the spiritual world, We do not really find something until we first lose it, ignore it, miss it, long for it, and personally find it again, but now on a whole new level. We frequently sing and affirm that we are blessed. You were born in original blessing, not original sin. But it doesn't make any difference if you're not tapping into that divine substance. It doesn't make any difference if you are not periodically and consistently dipping into that reality so that you are now self-propelled to be about the blessing thing. So being blessed also becomes a choice. It's a way of life. It's a way of life that's 100% your responsibility. In Psalm 16, verse 5, there's short 6 words. That's a really powerful, profound 6 words that's very much about what we're talking about today. And that is, the Lord is my chosen portion. The Lord is my chosen portion. Think about that. When you hear about a portion, what do you think of, right? It's something that I eat. You could take a large portion. You could take a small portion. You could take a portion of vegetables. You could take a portion of steak, if you're so inclined. You can also take a portion of spirituality. This is when I'm upset about what happened this past week, and I am, the only thing that really gives me solace and comfort is to take a portion. And the more that you could make it so that, your spirituality is not a snack, but a meal. They say we are what we eat. And spiritually, that is so true. What is it that we are consuming to make a difference in our life? What is it where we go beyond to God just being there on occasion, or on Sunday mornings, or when we're in trouble? What a difference between that. It's a whole different consciousness that if you really make God the single most important thing in your life, or even better, you really make God the only important thing, the first and foremost important thing in your life. Because from there, all of the spirituality unrolls. You walk it, you talk it, you feel it, and you know everything else can be dealt with, regardless how intense it gets, regardless how frightening it gets. There's a way with it and through it. I have to go back to my yoke. In that story that I showed at the beginning, the person searching for the ring was looking where the light was. But it was artificial light. You want to find something? Turn to the light inside. And sometimes that involves going into the darkness. Sometimes that involves confronting the boogeyman. Sometimes that goes into that place of really dealing with the pain and the shame and the suffering and the woes and everything, and doing the work in order to bring you to the stage where you're ready to do the work for these positive things. In case you can't read my yoke, the positive things that are on the screen, those too require work. It's all one package. And you absolutely have this within you. Always, always, always. If you want a practical value, a practical way, rather, to proceed at this point, I can't give you the specifics. Those are not mine to deliver to you. They're, those specifics of what you should do if you want to be involved in feeding the poor, feeding the hungry, if you want to be involved and become a political activist, if you want to run for office yourself, if you want to walk through the door, consistent with the beautiful song that Kitty sang to us this morning, if you want to proceed about just being kind every which way that you can and everybody you meet, those specifics are up to you. But if you search for something that maybe you think you have lost in the darkness, you got to go back and you got to let yourself find it in a very real and positive way. You have to be willing to go to the emptiness, the nothingness, because that's where God is present. Why don't we do that now? In my hands.
I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
Boy, what an apropos way to start this prayer and meditation, with that affirmation, I am so blessed. It was with me, with you, from the very beginning. It may have been obscured from time to time with events in our life, with pain in our life. But it was always there. Always will be there. And so to learn a bit more about this, a better, not understanding, but knowing of how blessed we are, we move inward. We move to our hearts, which are ours to protect, nobody else's. We move into the depth of our souls, the depth of our being, which is ours to harvest. Nobody else's. And we move toward a greater touch of what that involves for us by listening to the still small voice within us. What an incredibly awesome feeling. Every bit, every inch that we are able to move ourselves toward the realization that every dream, every hope, every manifestation, we already are empowered to get it done. Truly, we are so blessed. And so we focus, try to listen a little bit more intently. Sometimes when somebody tells us that they love us, that possibility seems so incredulous, so difficult to understand because of everything else that gets in the way. So we sweep all of that stuff aside right now. We affirm, I am loving because I am lovable. I am joyful because I'm capable of bringing joy. And I am at peace because I truly am capable of being a peacemaker. I can use these powers, which are not magical, but truly divine, truly holy, truly spiritual. I could bring them to everything that I touch, everything that I do, every person that I meet. I can come from a place of love. I am so blessed. We are so blessed. Loving Spirit. In this now feeling within us, in this now being within us, in this now knowing within us, we understand that our very fiber is spirit-led and spirit-fed. And for this, we give you thanks as we move into some moments of silence. And now I invite you back to this space with a loving welcome, with a renewed awareness, prayerfully, hopefully, a greater sense of joy in your heart, because you have made the choice that you want to be more joyful. You made the choice that you want to be more living, more loving. You made the choice that you are compassionate because you want to be more compassionate. So as we gaze at this room in which we are seated, as we enjoy the daylight, as we look out the windows, as we continue to listen to the soft music, we come to a knowing that we are home, safe, protected, nurtured by the light, that Christ light that is so embedded in us. Never, ever, ever can it be extinguished. Loving Spirit, thank you so much for this day. Truly, this is the day the Lord has made, and we rejoice and we are glad in it. We choose, Lord, to make you our portion. And in this choosing, we move forward, we rise up, we grow in meaning, we grow in being, we grow in love. And for all of this and so much more, thank you, Spirit. And so it is. Amen. Now it's time for our love offering, our sacrament of giving and receiving. I invite you to hold your offerings to your heart. And if you give another way, by mail-in or automatic transfer, that's okay. You could bring that consciousness and hold that to your heart. And know that we are so, so grateful for your gifts, the tangible expression of your commitment to this Unity of Fox Valley family. A commitment that extends beyond the dollars, but is actually sharing a portion of yourself. So join me now in praying our affirmations. God is my instant, constant, abundant source of supply, and divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all the good that I am, I have, I give, and I receive. Divine love flowing through us blesses and multiplies all the good that we are, we have, we give, and we receive.
Join in if you feel so inclined. I am so grateful for this life I have to live. Oh, and I am so grateful for all I have to give. For I live in a world of abundance, in a true never-ending source from above. Yes, I live in a world of abundance, with a life ever-flowing and a heart full of love. I am so grateful, for I know my path is blessed by a love so full and graceful. I can trust in every step, for I live in a world of abundance, in a true never-ending source from above. Yes, I live in a world of abundance, with a life overflowing and a heart full of love. Yes, I live in a world of abundance, in a true never-ending source from above. Yes, I live in a world of abundance, with a life overflowing and a heart full of love.
Thank you, Kitty. Thank you all for your leadership and the sensitivity that after the work the music team has been doing the past few weeks, they deserved a day off. Okay.
I heard they went on tour after last week. The Fab Four reimagined.
Well, I guess it's time for our announcements. Yes, it is. Okay, as I referenced in my talk, the next grief class starts this Wednesday. The On Grief and Grieving class hopes to make the challenging road of grief a little easier and applies the 5 stages of death to the grieving process. Please stop at the sign-up table to register. The last game night of the year is this Saturday at 7 p.m. Enjoy a fun night of friendly competition before the holiday season really kicks into gear. Sunday, November 24th, after the service, will be our annual Thanksgiving feast. Take a moment, think about it, and then join us for a time of fellowship and celebrate what we are thankful for. And please do register by the sign-up table to help set up, clean up, and bring a dish to share. There are a couple of 3 tags left on our Secret Santa tree at the back of the sanctuary. Please select one or all of them and return your gifts on or before Sunday, December 1st, and this is for the children of CASA. These are children who might otherwise find their Christmas trees bare. Always helps to inflict a little guilt, you know? After today's service, and this will be immediately after, hospitality is not open until the meeting is over. We will hold our annual family meeting, and it should last, it says here, for about an hour. I think we probably will get it done sooner today, but we'll see what happens. We hope you can stay and attend this important and informative meeting. This is letting the extended family know what we're about and how valuable everybody is and how valuable your input is. So please do that. And lastly, we have the Festival of Giving celebration, which is our fundraiser right now. Please give some time to consider contributing something over and above your normal contributions to help us meet operational expenses, which are in excess of our revenues, and generally that difference is on a schedule to grow between now and December 31st. Our goal is $12,000, and we appreciate your efforts to do what you can in that regard. That concludes our announcements. I invite everybody to stand and confer upon one another our congregational blessing, either by looking across the aisle or turning toward the person next to you. Remain standing for our peace song and our prayer of protection.
We love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the Christ in you, and know that you are empowered to do great things. Here we go. Let there be, let's do that again. Here we go. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, united all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow, to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. The light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.
Okay, take a break if you have to. Please come back and we can get started on the music.